All right, so we all love retro gaming, right? And the promise of an entire library on just one little HDMI stick is, well, it's pretty tempting. So today, we're doing a deep dive into the marketing claims for one of these,
Yeah.
the Gamebox X2 Pro. Our mission is to take the sources you sent over and really dissect the biggest promises this thing makes. We're talking over 100,000 games.
100,000.
Yeah, compatibility with everything from NES and Sega all the way up to PlayStation, and it's all supposed to be just, plug and play. So let's just unpack that. Can one small stick really deliver a legal, high-quality, ultimate gaming library that covers decades of history?
That is the core question, isn't it? And when we look past the very polished ads, the source material gives us plenty to analyze about the evidence, or the lack of evidence.
Okay, let's start with the trust builders. The marketing uses these bold quantitative claims. Things like 95% love the durability.
Where 98% love the design.
Exactly.
And what's so fascinating here, I think, is how these statistics are used. They're trying to create this veneer of certainty.
A veneer of certainty, yeah.
We looked hard, and the research shows these numbers have no identifiable source. No methodology, no proof. They just feel empty because there's no data to back them up.
So you can't trace them anywhere.
Nowhere. And that immediately calls the trustworthiness of the whole product into question.
Okay, so faking user data is one thing, but what about faking an entire brand association? That seems like next-level smoke and mirrors.
It really is. The marketing often shows logos from huge companies. You see Sega, Capcom, Atari.
Implying they're officially involved.
Exactly. But the evidence just doesn't connect those dots. Our analysis found a critical lack of any links or documents or proof to verify an official partnership.
So if they're misleading about that, about something so fundamental, it makes you question everything else.
It does. It raises a huge question about the credibility of their other claims, especially around game licensing.
And this is where it gets, I think, really interesting. The central promise. Over 100,000 preloaded games.
100,000.
I mean, that number is just astronomical. Across systems like PlayStation, even Dreamcast.
It is. And, providing context here is so key. Our sources describe that volume as, well, completely unrealistic for any legitimate console to legally include.
Right.
For you to understand the scale, the games are loaded as ROMs digital copies. And they run using emulators, which is software that mimics the old hardware.
Okay.
Legally acquiring the licenses for even a fraction of 100,000 games, it would be financially impossible for a product at this price point.
So the sheer number itself is the giveaway.
It strongly suggests the content is, well, almost entirely pirated ROMs.
But wait, if the stick is so cheap, isn't that kind of the deal? Is it really deception, or are people getting exactly what they think they're paying for? Does the source material get into that?
It does, and the crucial takeaway isn't just that the content is unauthorized, it's that this approach, this low-effort, illegal approach, is what dictates the device's quality. Because they're trying to hit that impossible promise of 100,000 games, they use cheap, underpowered internal hardware to cut costs.
Which would explain the performance issues.
Exactly. It's often cited as the reason users report lag, system freezes, corrupted files, even games just missing entirely. The product is just heavily overhyped.
So the quantity is the quality issue.
That's the perfect way to put it.
So let's talk about that hype. The ads promise next-level retro gaming, smooth HD output, 60-plus emulators all working perfectly.
And when you contrast that marketing with the reported reality, even the reviews themselves seem to follow that same deceptive roadmap.
What do you mean?
Well, imagine if 98% of the positive reviews for a restaurant were only on the restaurant's own website and nowhere else.
Right, you'd be suspicious.
That's the parallel we see here. All these glowing, polished reviews are found only on the product's own site. There's no external verification on platforms like Trustpilot or Reddit.
So it feels like pure marketing fluff.
It does. If you connect all the dots, you see a really precise pattern. Create a veneer of trust with fake stats, imply legitimacy with unverified brands, and then use illegal content to meet an impossible promise.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? This deep dive really highlights that you have to look past the impressive aesthetics and these huge numbers.
You need to look for verifiable, transparent data, especially when claims about game counts just become unrealistic.
So thinking about this whole model, the fact that it seems to rely on pirated content and these over-the-top claims, what price point, if any, would make you feel comfortable overlooking the lack of credibility for a library this massive?